Hello.
Then, now,
Bow down to the queens.
Episode number 500.
forever,
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, I'm on episode number 15, I believe, of the TEW9. Got it right this time, the first time. Challenge Run. We're here for Monday, 29th of July, 2024. We are on Monday Night Raw. We're on the road to SummerSlam, coming off of King of the Ring and Evolution. We know our WWE Championship main event will be Cody Rhodes defending against CM Punk. The WWE Women's Championship match will be Nova Nebula, the Queen of the Ring winner, taking on Bayley. And yeah, we're going to learn tonight, the follow-up from last week's ending. Batista came back, he laid out Bronson Steiner. We also have LA Knight teaming with Wes Lee against the Guns, and Cora Jade and Roxy Perez against Bianca Belair and Jakara Jackson. Plus a whole lot more. Cody Rhodes is here tonight, we're going to hear from him. CM Punk is not here tonight, so Cody will respond to Punk in his promo. Without any more further ado... Oh, Bo, of course! Akira Tozawa is back as well. And they're facing off against Logan Paul and KSI for the championships in a prime street fight at SummerSlam. So yeah, they being part of the Dragon, of course. If you're new here, get with the program. If you're not new here and you've been here for a while, you know why that's a big deal. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We kick off the show with the Raw General Manager, Batista, making his way down to the ring. He made his return last week. We hadn't seen him since Bronson Steiner had, I think, thrown him from a car window, or something to do with a car in the parking lot. I think it was thrown from a car window. And yeah, Batista comes out. As well, it's been a while since I've managed to come back out here on my show and run down the state of things here. So I was obviously keeping up with Monday Night Raw while I was in the hospital because of one of our very own WWE superstars here, Bronson Steiner, stepping out of line. Now, Hunter, I appreciate you trying to step in during my absence to try and put Bronson Steiner in line. You suspended him, you fined him, but nothing seems to be working. Which is why last week, I regret that I had to do what I had to do, but somebody needed to teach this kid a lesson, and I couldn't think of anyone better to do that than the Animal. Because, don't get it twisted, I may not have wrestled in over 5 years. I may be 1 foot out of the door, 1 foot in Hollywood by now, but I can still kick some ass when my buttons are pressed. And Bronson Steiner, you keep pressing my buttons. Bronson Steiner comes out. He's got a bunch of security with him. They storm, they stand at the bottom of the ramp. And Batista goes, "What's this?" Big badass Bronson Steiner with a bunch of security. Bronson goes, "Trust me, Dave. These security, they ain't here for me. They're here to protect you from me." Okay, now don't get it twisted. I could easily run through this entire line of security guards like that if I wanted to. But I don't wanna, Batista. Because quite frankly, you stepped out of line last week. Now sure, I put my hands on you. I served my suspension for that. 'Cause I'm a good little employee, Dave. I listen to my bosses. Unlike you. You see, Dave, I don't care what the circumstances are. In your position as a WWE authority figure, you have no right to put your hands on talent. And last week, you put your hands on talent. And Batista says, "Well, Bronson, I'm actually glad you're out here, and I'm glad you brought that up. Because last week, the Raw General Manager did not put his hands on WWE talent. Because when Hunter was in the ring last week, after you threatened to spear a man who can't wrestle ever again because of his heart, and who knows the damage that would have caused, while you were busy doing that, I was busy finalizing something for myself with Hunter. And I said to him last week, I came into the ring, I said, 'Is everything all set?' And he said everything was all set, and that's when I turned around and I speared your ass. And what was set was my official resignation as the general manager of Monday Night Raw. And Bronson Steiner sort of laughs. And Batista goes, I knew, as an authority figure, I could not put my hands on the talent. But I'm not an authority figure anymore, Bronson Steiner. I'm not the Raw general manager, Dave Batista. I'm not even Hollywood actor, Dave Batista. You're looking at the animal. The former World Heavyweight Champion, the former Royal Rumble winner 2 times. That's who I am right now. And Bronson Steiner, I hate you. I hate you for everything that you've done, everything that you put me through, my family through, all those weeks I was gone from here. And I'm mad at you. And I'm mad at myself. You've made me mad at myself for what I'm about to do. 5 years ago, over 5 years ago, I made a promise to my best friend in this entire industry, Paul Levesque, Triple H. And I said to him, I went, when he helped put me on the map all those years ago, 20 years ago, I told him, I said, one day I'll make it up to you. And then I made it up to Hunter. And I swore on my life that I wasn't going to be that guy who went back on his word. That was my final match. That was my dream swan song ending of my career. I hung up the boots that night, and I fully intended to never step into this ring again, knowing that I'd fulfilled a promise to my best friend. But you, Bronson Steiner, you've pushed me so badly to the point where I'm gonna have to break that promise. I'll have to break a promise I made to my best friend, that I'd make it up to him in my final match. Because you're being such an asshole that I have to step in and do something about it. So, Bronson Steiner, how what you say? You, me, Phoenix, Arizona, State Farm Arena, Stadium. They're 2 different. I learned this because there's a State Farm Arena that they're running Bad Blood in real life. That's in Atlanta, but the State Farm Stadium is in Arizona. It's the renamed stadium where they ran WrestleMania 26. And I need to make sure I don't get the 2 mixed up because they're 2 very different locations and they're 2 very different buildings. State Farm Stadium, SummerSlam, the Animal and the badass Bronson Steiner, 1-on-1 to settle this. Bronson Steiner just laughs and goes, Dave Batista, in your big age, you're breaking a promise you made. Dave, I wouldn't bother. Dave, if I was you, I'd take back that challenge and I'd hold true to your word that WrestleMania 35 is your last match. Because this isn't going to end well for you. You say you're the Animal, but I'm looking at the Animal right now. I'm not. The Animal, he'd have come down here and he'd have ripped my head off my shoulders. But you, Dave, you don't even want to come down here in case you pull a muscle and it takes you out of filming for the next 6 months. But you're not walking back your challenge. So I'll take you out of filming entirely. Not only will your career as a WWE superstar come to an end at SummerSlam, so will your career in Hollywood, because no one's going to want to cast a broken, washed up, old man with 2 broken legs and a broken neck. But if this is really the choice you want to make, if you can live with yourself, I'll see you there, boss. So yeah, Batista, this comes at a perfect timing because he did interviews in real life. He's like, I'm never going to wrestle again because that was a good ending. I always knew that, and this was always going to be an angle I took this story. But, now it's back in the news. I made sure to address it again. That, that was his last match. Like, he was never going to wrestle again after he wrestled Triple H. But Bronson Steiner has pissed him off so much, he's now forced himself to go back on that word. So yeah, Batista, Bronson Steiner will be going 1-on-1 at SummerSlam. I'm curious how that match will do, because obviously Big Dave's going to be super duper washed in this game. So, we're looking at Bronson starting to carry a job, really. We then head backstage. Kathy Kelly is my guest at this time, the phenomenal AJ Styles. Kathy says, AJ, last week, Finn Balor came out here and he got the jump on you. He goes, stop there. Finn Balor didn't get the jump on me, Kathy Kelly. Finn Balor is a coward. Okay. A King of the Ring, I was going to become King of the Ring, and that's when he decided he was going to show his face again after I embarrassed him all those weeks ago. But he seems to be holding a grudge against that moment. I tried to take him out nicely. You know, you saw the form that me and him are on as a tag team before I did what I did and all yelled at his ass. It wasn't great. So now Finn, he's going to come back still the loser that he is. Whereas I'm on my rise back to the top. The phenomenal AJ Styles will be WWE Champion again. But if Finn Balor wants to keep being a nuisance to me, I can take care of him. That's when Buddy Murphy walks in the frame. He goes, I can't help but hear you yapping over there, AJ. You know, it's funny. Now, for all these years, I've had friends, I've had allies, you know, some of them for a long time, some of them for a brief period of time. But one thing that it takes to be a successful tag team and to be a true, you know, WWE superstar is to own up to yourself instead of just shifting the blame to everybody else. And AJ goes, who asked you, buddy? Okay? I'm sure I've proven time after time over these last few weeks that everything that went wrong with OG leaders was all Finn Balor's fault. And if you want to come step into the phenomenal one, I get it, kid. Yeah, you're sort of looking for something to find your feet here. You've been lost for a long ass time. But I'll make you famous tonight. So yeah, Buddy Murphy, AJ Styles, later on tonight. 75 rated tag match. That's actually pretty good considering the Guns are in it. But yeah, LA Knight and Wes Lee, they do defeat the Guns. LA Knight pinning Colton with the BFT in 9:25. 83 for Wes Lee, 83 for LA Knight as well. 43 for Colton Gunn, and 44 for Austin Gunn. And here after the match, LA Knight, he grabs the mic. He goes, let me talk to you. What you just saw right there was LA Knight personified. Yeah. What you saw was me dropping that ass boy on his head. 1, 2, 3. Ringing his bell. He has no idea where it is. He's going to be waking up thinking he's back at Billy and Chuck's wedding. We're on to more important things than those two ass clowns. I'm looking at you, bitch Blade. I'm looking at that championship you got over your shoulder, and don't make one thing perfectly clear. You've been pinned one time since you came here to WWE. That's impressive. You know, you've taken this roster by storm. But that one guy who pinned you, who beat you so bad, knocked you out, pinned your shoulders to the mat for the 1, 2, 3. It wasn't AJ Styles. It wasn't Finn Balor. It wasn't anybody else you've stepped into the ring with. Nah. It was the megastar. It was LA Knight. Yeah. And beating your ass when you hold that lovely piece of championship gold over your shoulder can only mean one thing to me. Is that you need to come out here, none of your last boyfriends, and come out here face to face and accept my challenge. Me and you for that Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. Jay White comes out. He goes, so this is the famous LA Knight I keep hearing so much about. You sure do know how to run your mouth, don't you? You're damn right I do now. Accept my challenge, bitch Blade. Because throwing mindless insults I've heard like hundreds of times at me isn't going to make me rush to accept your challenge, LA. Like, I've been here for 3.5 months, and I've already captured championship gold. What were you doing your first 3 months here in WWE? You wasn't doing much of note where you were floating around begging for TV time. And sure, you went on to eventually capture the World Heavyweight Championship, and good for you, buddy, good for you. At the ripe age of 40, you finally broke out in this industry. When I'm 40, I'm going to be a multi-time world champion, multi-time Intercontinental champion. And now you want to try and challenge me? You want to try and challenge the Bang Bang Gang for my championship at SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer, second biggest event of the year. Well, guess what, Li? I already beat your little friend there. Whether you like it or not, I did that. It's not my fault. We outsmarted him. And at SummerSlam, I'm going to stay one step ahead of you. And I'm going to walk out of Phoenix still Intercontinental Champion. So that was official for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. It will be Jay White defending against LA Knight. Yeah. Hashtag bars, by the way. White and Knight. We then see a recap of the Path of the Dragon reunion last week. And we cut backstage, and Humberto, Cesaro, and Xia Li are all there, hugging each other, getting all dressed up. And he goes, finally, it's me and Humberto, me and Akira are back together where we belong. One of the greatest tag teams of this generation. And you know what, Akira? Last time I checked, me and you, we never lost those Raw Tag Team Championships. It was Zergus, that sellout Prime Saurus, who lost those championships for us. And at SummerSlam, in that street fight, we're going to get him back. Because I was like, hey, what happened with Zergus while I was away? And then Christian and Dominic Mysterio step in. Christian goes, what happened, young man, was your little pet dragon. He moved on to bigger and better things. Pet owners are a lot like fathers. Okay, some pet owners, train their dogs to be champions, to do tricks and win competitions. Some horse owners train their horses to win racing competitions. Others have a little house cat that they just let shit in the house and stink up the place until it dies. A sad, pathetic little house cat. You're in the latter, where your little pet dragon decided he had better things on his mind. He took that sponsorship at Prime, and he's going to be a star, not because of you, but in spite of you, just like Dominic Mysterio. My youngest and now only son will become a star here in WWE, not because he was raised by a deadbeat father like Rey Mysterio, but in spite of his deadbeat father, Rey Mysterio. And Humberto's like, well, that's a lot of yapping, not a lot of fighting. Me and Akira, we haven't teamed up in over a year. We sure would love to shake off that rust. So how about tonight in the main event, Path of the Dragon, back together against you and your new son, Dominic. Dom goes, you want to challenge me and my father? Okay, my father's going to beat your ass. Okay, because my dad is tougher than your dad. We'll see you out there tonight. So, main event tonight. Path of the Dragon back in action as Tozawa and Humberto face off against Christian and Dominic. That should be a hoot. And then get a Grand Jury promo. Damian Priest says, last week, Trick Williams thought he had the upper hand on us. Trick Williams and Ken were going one-on-one in that ring. But Tricky, he was all alone, whereas the Grand Jury, we're never alone. We're always one step ahead of everybody we step into the ring with. And now, Trick, the ball's in your court. This could all stop. We could stop whooping that Trick just easily. All you've got to do is simply understand that the Grand Jury, that's where champions are made. You look at Dolph Ziggler, he's world champion. You look at Julia, champion. Look at Sonya Deville, champion. And soon Damian Priest, champion. Trick, if you ever want to get to that championship, champions run through the Grand Jury. Champions don't run by being just Trick Williams. As much as everybody around here wants to chant your name and sing your song and chant whoop that Trick, these fans are nothing. But deep down inside you, you've got to prove that you can be a champion. And next week, you and I, one-on-one in that ring, and we'll see what you're made of. Ball's in your court, Trick. Don't drop it. 85 rated match. Buddy Murphy had to carry a washed-ass AJ Styles. But yeah, sorry, buddy. I'll remember this performance, by the way. But thanks for doing the JOB here tonight. AJ does defeat him with a phenomenal forearm in 12:09. 67 for AJ, 85 for Buddy Bloody Murphy. And yeah, AJ continues his winning ways in singles competition, outside of losing to Xavier Woods at King of the Ring. After the match, AJ goes to the ringside, he knocks the top off the steel steps. He grabs Buddy Bloody Murphy, he's going to deliver the Styles Clash off the steps that he gave to Finn. When Finn Balor rushes out, I'm imagining the scene in my head, is that, Finn's coming from, we've got AJ, in the position for the steps, right by the ramp. So he's about to deliver the Styles Clash off there, but he sees Finn Balor coming from the opposite barricade. So Finn jumps over that barricade, then AJ drops Buddy Murphy to the floor. He sort of quickly rolls out of the scene, and Finn flies in out of nowhere, hits a shotgun drop kick on AJ, sends him flying off the steps into the barricade. Yeah, and then Finn, he leaps off the steps onto AJ, continues the fighting, AJ scurries away. And then Finn grabs a mic, and he goes, "Weak link, Styles. Okay. First of all, you're welcome. You're welcome for all of this. Okay, granted, you're a legendary wrestler, one of the greatest to ever do it throughout your entire career. But the only reason anybody cares about you right now is because you made your name off of something that I created. So you can walk around here saying that you're better than me, that I was the reason that things between me and you as a tag team didn't go the way that they should have towards the end. But AJ, I'm calling that bullcrap. The reason why we couldn't be a tag team is because you don't want to share the spotlight. All you've ever been throughout your career is in the right place at the right time, riding off somebody else's coattails. But because you're so good and you could back it up in the ring, you managed to masquerade, make everybody think you were this phenomenal one, when really, all you really want deep down is to be accepted as the best. But you're not the best, AJ. I'm the best. And at SummerSlam, you and I, we're gonna dance, Southern boy. And I'm gonna prove to you that I'm better than you. And AJ takes the mic. He goes, You want me? SummerSlam, okay? Finn, all I'm hearing coming out of your mouth is yapping. Yap, yap, yap. That's all you do, Balor. I liked it better when you put on the facepaint and never spoke, because speaking makes you a hell of a lot more unlikable. I don't ride off anybody else's coattails. I make the coattails. I'm the most influential wrestler of the 21st century. People got into this business hoping to be the next AJ Styles. Nobody got in this business hoping to be the next Finn Balor. Because nobody wants to be the next Finn Balor. Because Finn Balor is washed up. Finn Balor will never be AJ Styles. And at SummerSlam, Finn Balor will once again take an all-too-familiar defeat, this time at the hands of AJ Styles. Good ads. We come back out. Cody comes to the ring. So, Hartford, what do you guys want to talk about? As has been tradition with weeks that I've been away, a lot of things here happened while I was away last week. Last week, I was 48 hours removed from a 60-minute war with one of the toughest professional wrestlers to ever step foot in a WWE ring, the Ring General, Gunther. Gunther, a former World Heavyweight Champion, a Royal Rumble winner, beat my ass for a good 55 minutes of that match, and I'm not afraid to say it. Gunther, things between me and him may be finished for now, and as much as I may not respect Gunther, I may not like Gunther, I damn sure respect him. So, General, I welcome the challenge. Next time, you want a shot at the crown. But I've got a much different challenge ahead of me at SummerSlam. I haven't got to face an evil rival who I have a personal disdain for. I've got to wrestle a close friend of mine named CM Punk. Now, a lot of people, when CM Punk made his return to WWE back in January, were hesitant to let Punk back in the door, given, the history he has with other places. And I know all about the places that CM Punk has been making issues in the past. But things between myself and Punk have only ever been great. I consider him a close personal friend of mine, and at SummerSlam it'll be an honor to step into the ring with one of the greatest to ever do it. It's a new kind of challenge. It's a much different challenge to that posed by Gunther, but it's one that nonetheless I am willing to overcome. Now, Punk, he's not here tonight, so I hope he's watching at home. I hope he gets this message. I'm sure you think that I'm going to be easy pickings at SummerSlam, given the war I went through with Gunther, and it's true, I probably am still not at 100%. But Punk, I'm going to tell you this right now. No matter what happens at SummerSlam, win, lose, or draw, I'm going to give you everybody a preview of what's going to happen. After that 3 count hits, the better man will have his hand raised by the referee. And after that match, whether I'm the better man or not, Punk, I'll offer out a handshake of goodwill and friendship to somebody that I respect from the bottom of my heart. And we'll shake hands in that ring. And it'll be the greatest main event in SummerSlam history. Chad Gable then comes out, Mr. Money in the Bank. He goes, "Relax, Cody. I can see you sweating bullets right now that Mr. Money in the Bank, Chad Gable, is making his way out to this ring, but it's fine. I'm not going to cash in on you tonight. You see, a lot of Money in the Bank winners in the past, they've been very stupid with the way they make themselves known ahead of time. I'm not stupid, Cody. I've got a 4.0 GPA, so I know when and where I'm catching this championship in already. So you can relax, Cody. Keep that in the back of your head, though, because you never know where I might strike. But I do have to come out here and talk to you about something. I spoke to Punk last week." Cody goes, "Oh, did you?" Gable goes, "Yes, I'm just going to tell you right now. Everything you just said about how things are going to go down at SummerSlam, you just lied to these people, Cody. You didn't intend to lie to these people, but you did. Because that's not the kind of guy CM Punk is." Cody just rolls eyes and goes, "Oh, here we go again. First Seth, now you, everybody around here, trying to pretend there's some big issue with CM Punk. Well, if there's a big issue with CM Punk, I've yet to see it. And Triple H has yet to see it. Because he's come back here for 7 months and been nothing but on his best behavior and been a sweetheart to everybody I've seen him interact with backstage, apart from you and Seth. So I keep hearing about this big, evil, egotistical maniac, CM Punk. Chad, have you ever considered that maybe it's you? This is the problem. Have you considered that maybe Punk hasn't got a vendetta here in WWE? He just doesn't like you? Okay, because you better watch your mouth, Cody. Don't say I didn't warn you. Because, quite frankly, I admire that you're the WWE champion, that you think you gotta put on this brave face and be this respectable, loved hero to the children. But all you're doing is selling them a false lie. But it's fine. I know better than you. I'm smarter than you. You really are stupid. And I'll sit back here with my Money in the Bank briefcase, watch it all crash and burn, and then, when everything's at its weakest, Chad Gable will slide in. Chad Gable will become WWE champion. Have a good match at SummerSlam, Cody. Then come backstage. Triple H is on the phone. He goes, "Great, so you're definitely going to be able to make SummerSlam this year. Great, I'll see you there. We'll hopefully get the announcement sorted in very, very soon. Okay, bye." He hangs up the phone. And then Tan Paxley actually goes, "Boss man!" Slams the WWE Championship on the table. And he goes, "Thanks for bringing this to me. Was it lost property? She goes, no, it's mine. I was just saying that I think we should defend this championship at SummerSlam, and I really need to defend this championship at SummerSlam. My baby girl. And Triple H goes, it's not your championship, Rhea vacated this. She didn't hand it to you. That's not how this works. Tay goes, no, I took it back. I beat Sasha for it on ECW. Triple H goes, Sasha Banks isn't the champion either. What's going on with this championship? Tay goes, I don't know, boss man, but I heard somebody over on SmackDown was saying a couple of mean things about me, and I'm wondering what you were going to do about it. Triple H goes, nothing, you're a grown-ass woman. Okay, if you're the champion that you think you are, you know how we settle things here in the WWE. Pax goes, thanks, boss man. You're so right. I'll go tell Rhea right now. And she rushes out of the room. Triple H rubs his head in stress. And then Tatum runs back in and grabs the belt off the desk and then runs back out. Then cut backstage, Bianca and Chikara, in Gorilla getting ready for their tag match when Montez Ford and Ora Mensah walk up, wishing them good luck. A big win tonight can put you in great standings for a women's tag team championship match. Bianca goes, I know that, okay? I'm going to finally become a women's tag team champion. It's the one championship I've never won here in WWE. I mean, my Princess Chikara here, we're going to go all the way. And then their theme hits and they leave. Montez Ford so watches them leave and she goes, good luck, babe. You're going to do great. And Ora goes, really, this again? And Montez Ford goes, whoa, what who you talking to, Oro? He goes, I know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to Montez Ford, former World Heavyweight Champion. We've been through this, okay? I remember slapping you silly last time and slapping you back to reality when you were getting too cozy being Bianca's cheerleader, okay? King of the Ring didn't go your way, but you beat Seth Rollins in the first round. Nobody thought you were going to beat Seth Rollins in the first round. It can't be letting Bianca be the only person around here to get some shine. She's not a power woman. We're a power couple. Start acting like it. And Ora walks off. Then we see Montez Ford's expression sort of change. He takes his sunglasses off. He looks at himself in the mirror in Gorilla. He sort of just shakes his head and walks off, following Ora Mensah back. 72 rated match. Yep. 2 reasons for that. 1, Chikara is still, getting over. And B, well, you can see the finish. Becky's on color commentary your match. She comes out right as the match is about to begin, wearing some ridiculous clothing, and she takes a seat at ringside, probably puts her feet on the table. Out of disrespect, puts the headset on, sitting a little bit away from the desk, either eating something silly like popcorn or drinking lemonade or something like that. And she's just running all 4 of these women down on commentary. And then Tom Phillips, I think is the Raw announcer, says something to the effect of he just throws a throwaway line there, goes, maybe one of these teams will, winning here will get them in foot for a tag team championship match at SummerSlam. And then Becky sort of snaps her head across and looks at him and goes, I've got the tag team championship match at SummerSlam, Tom, not any of these 2. He goes, well, I'm just saying, I know you won that Battle Royal, but nothing says that match has to be one-on-one, and surely if winning a big match like this would put either of these women in good standings. And Becky's like, I'll show you good standings. And she gets up and she lays all 4 women out with the manhandle slam. Stands tall. Probably pours whatever food or drink item she had on one of them, probably Bianca Belair, and then leaves. We then cut to ads after that, come back, and Becky's sauntering through the hallway, all happy with herself. Oh, no, that's not this angle, that's the post-match tag, sorry. Seth Rollins is then backstage with Kathy Kelly. Kathy goes, Seth, last week, a message was sent to you rather loud and clear. And I just want to know, what are your thoughts on the message that you got sent last week? Seth goes, Gunther, I thought better of him. I know he's been walking around here with his head up his ass thinking he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I didn't expect him to be the kind of guy to send goons after me and attack me from behind. Now, I know, Gunther came up short at King of the Ring. He couldn't blame that loss on me, so now he's trying to use that as a learning experience and then get back at me for what? Apparently costing him the championship at a Clash at the Castle. Does he think that defeat sits well with me either, Kathy? But it's fine. I've been on a bit of a rough streak lately. I've got Giovanni Vinci of Imperium coming up next. And Gunther can just watch that if he wants the message from me. And Kathy goes, thanks, Seth. And he's like, wait, what, is there an issue here, Kathy? And he sort of like, has to hold back her smile. She goes, well, actually, I was more so talking about the message that Triple H gave you last week about, stuff. And Seth's expressions only changes. And he goes, I don't need Triple H or anybody to tell me to get my head right, Kathy. My head's in a perfectly fine place. And she goes, I'm just saying, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, you must feel some sort of way about that. Seth goes, how I feel about that is that I've got Giovanni Vinci tonight, and I'm going to let my actions do the talking. Then he walks off. Then cut back to the ring. Club Venus are in the ring. And, Mina goes, we may have lost at Evolution, but we're still hotter than J-Flow. We're still the hottest group here on Raw. And to celebrate SummerSlam season coming up, we're going to hit our hot new dance move in this ring. They start their choreographed dance. Bayley comes out. And she's, she breaks up the dance. Which gets either cheers or boos, depending on how down bad you are. And, yeah, Bayley's got a match with Victoria Shields coming up next. Gets a 70. She beats her with the Rose Plant in 5:34. 30 for Victoria, 80 for Bayley. And, yeah, pretty fine match. And after the match, Bayley takes the mic. And she goes, Evolution was supposed to be a great night for me. Main eventing a show, Arena Mexico, the second of 2 nights of WWE in Mexico City, against a woman who idolized me, in Cora Jade, finally putting that demon to bed. When all of a sudden I'm struck from behind by Nova. Now, don't get me wrong, Nova, I'm so glad you're back. Well, I was so glad you're back, because you're a key focal point of this women's division. And yes, I think it's so honorable, quite frankly, that when you were at the height of this division, about to be on the cusp of potentially becoming the WWE Women's Champion, you left to go and fulfill motherhood duties. That's so inspiring. I'm sure a lot of people at home, a lot of women watching, looked at that and thought, yeah, that's damn right, that's badass. But now you're coming back to take what's yours? Nova, you never won it. Okay, sure, I must be used to people stabbing me in the back by now, whether it be my best friend in this entire world, whether it be a woman who looked at me as her hero, or whether it be you. It doesn't matter, because every one of those moments made me stronger. It led me to the main event of WrestleMania, to becoming Women's Champion. It led me to the main event of Mexico City, to staying Women's Champion. And it's going to lead me to SummerSlam, where I will still stay Women's Champion. Because if you want this so badly, Nova, if you really want this, you have to do a whole lot more than that to break me. Now Becky's skipping on backstage. This is what I thought it was earlier on. I knew this segment was here. Becky actually skip along backstage. Kathy Kelly walks out there and she goes, Becky, what did we just see out there? She goes, I'm so glad you asked. What we just saw out there, Kathy Kelly, was me putting that tag team division on my back like I have this entire division for many, many years, and protecting its assets. Kathy goes, explain. She goes, well, you see, Bianca Belair, she's multi-time world champion, but she's not quite on my level yet. That other girl that hangs around with Bianca, her shadow, she's not quite there yet because she's still learning from Bianca. And Cora and Roxy, they're combined, 16 years old? Maybe in the future they'll be there, but they're not there right now. Me, I am there. I am her. So, as you know, she's the man, so she would say, I am him. So, they thought they were going to start sniffing around championship opportunities. Little did they know, I have this. Okay, so I'm going to SummerSlam and I'm going to become the women's tag team champions. Kevin's like, yeah, but with who? And she goes, my partner, of course. And then Piper and Tegan walk into frame. Tegan goes, this week we thought we'd make the stop over here because we heard there was a lot of stuff going on in our division over here where we weren't. We heard about you, Becky, and I heard that Becky Lynch had won the Battle Royal at Evolution. I couldn't really watch it because, we were getting ready for our defense on that show. And this is what I see. Becky goes, yeah, you're starstruck. I know you are. Look, listen. I'm not doing autographs right now. Maybe if you buy a copy of my best-selling book, Becky Lynch, The Man, Not Your Every Average Girl, on sale now. #1 bestseller, New York Times. A copy in the White House. You can bring that to SummerSlam, and I'll sign my little copy for it and wish you best of luck in your future of being a future WWE superstar. And we can exchange that. I'll take them off your hands, and you can take my book. Because, quite honestly, you're getting the better end of that deal. Because as good as those championships are, they haven't quite got the Becky Lynch rub just yet. That's why I'm actually trying to elevate them now. But that book, it can guide you. That has got the Becky Lynch rub because I wrote the damn thing. So, the choice is yours. And Piper goes, I doubt you're going to beat us 2-on-1. Becky goes, I could if I wanted to, but I don't have to because I have a partner. You just don't know her. And she walks off. Tegan and Piper sort of chuckle and they go, I don't think she's got a partner. Tegan goes, yeah, you think? 70-rated match. Just a cool down. Following on from last week, where Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton sort of had issues after Tiffany badmouthed Arena Mexico, and Stephanie then beat Anne-Marie Porter. She also beats Mariah May, 7:53 by pinfall, 69 for Stephanie, 48 for Mariah. And then, after the match, she's celebrating when Tiffany Stratton jumps her from behind. Mariah May and Anne-Marie Porter then also joining on the fight. It's a 3-on-1 assault, when Stephanie is saved by Sol Ruca and Zoe Stark, who rush out and chase off the blonde Barbies, helping Stephanie to her feet and sort of shaking hands, dapping her up, whatever. Trick Williams promo. He just sat in a chair, on the street. Goes, grand jury, let's talk about him. I saw what you said earlier on, Priest. I saw your little pretty production video. Nice little light you got there, I must have spent a fortune on that. But here I am, in the realness of the real world. This is where Tricky Willie grew up. These are the streets that made me. And I dare I say, it's a whole of a lot tougher than whatever spooky-ass room you guys like to hang out with. You say you want me to join the grand jury. You say you want me to become a champion. But let's talk about that. You mentioned Dolph Ziggler, Julia, all these people that became champions that were in your group. They only became champions after they ditched your bum asses. The fact of the matter is, Priest, you're clinging on to relevance. You're the only guy from that original grand jury lineup still in there, and you think the whole world is yours because of it. You ain't got no power. You're just 3 emos trying to make a name for yourself in this industry at the expense of somebody younger and hotter and more popular than you. I respect it. I'm actually quite flattered that you think I'm in such a position. But make no bones about it, Tricky Willie has a lot of things he'll do in this division and this company. But joining your sorry asses will never be one of them. And Priesty, you say you want to make a name for yourself next week? Against me? Leave your boys in the back, because I had your boy's ass beat last week before you two jumped in here and jumped me from behind. I don't want that. I don't fight from behind. I fight face to face. I fight man to man. So if you want me next week, Priesty, it's you and I, 1-on-1. No Ken, no Emerson. And then I'm gonna beat your ass into obscurity. Because quite frankly, you're clinging on to it right now anyway. Then cut backstage, Stephanie Vaquer, being checked out by medical after the match when Sol Ruca and Zoe Stark into the room. And Stephanie's like, hey. And Sol goes, I know Tiffany and Mariah and Anne-Marie were, giving you some trouble last week. And quite frankly, we may not have the same heritage and legacy in lucha libre and being a luchador as you do, but we respect everywhere where you came from and the career you've had before you got here to WWE, and for, quite frankly, 3 women who didn't really grind like you and Zoe did. To speak like that, we had to step in and, even the odds. And Zoe goes, if you ever need allies, we'll be your allies. And next week, it's us 3 against them 3. And Stephanie goes, sure, thanks, girls. So yeah, next week, 6-woman tag team match, the Blonde Barbies against Stephanie Vaquer and Sol Ruca and Zoe Stark. 89 rated match. Seth Rollins against Giovanni Vinci. It was Vinci specifically because I think he wrestled Ludwig already before Clash at the Castle. And yeah, Seth does win in 10 minutes and 8 with a curb stomp. 8-7 for Seth. And not Giovanni Vinci outscored Seth Rollins here. But the story of this match is that Seth's a little bit more vicious with his attacks on Giovanni Vinci. Presumably because of the attack from Imperium last week, but who knows what's going on in Seth's brain. Maybe there's something else bothering him. After the match, Seth sort of looks down at Vinci on the floor. He goes outside and he grabs a steel chair. And then he goes to swing back on Vinci when Ludwig rushes out. He stands on the apron to try and distract Seth. Seth clobbers him with the chair, knocks him off the apron before he turns his attention back to Vinci. And he starts just waylaying chair shots on Giovanni Vinci. Ludwig, he's debating going in there to help Vinci, but he really doesn't want to take another chair shot, so he sort of stops halfway through and is watching as Vinci gets his ass beat. And Seth, he holds the chair up high once he's finished to a big pop. He then throws the chair at Ludwig. And he said, "Send that to your ring general." Next week, we've got some fun matches on tap for next week, including this 6-woman tag we just heard about. Stephanie Vaquer has been outnumbered against the Blonde Barbies the past 2 weeks. She's beaten Anne-Marie, she's beaten Mariah, but next week it is a 6-woman tag team match. Tiffany, Mariah, and Anne-Marie take on Stephanie Vaquer, Sol Ruca, and Zoe Stark in 6-woman tag team action. Plus, Trick Williams and Damian Priest, we heard their back and forth promos tonight. Next week will be one-on-one Priest against Trick Williams. No grand jury out there ringside, just the best man will win that fight. And, breaking news, our main event next week, following the events of the tag team match earlier on tonight, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair go face-to-face in the main event of Monday Night Raw. That should be a wild time. And also for tonight, we've had some matches announced for SummerSlam, including this. Dave Bautista, for the first time in over 5 years, will step into the ring. He's forced himself to break a promise he made with Triple H back in the day, and he will return to in-ring action to try and stop the unstoppable, seemingly, Bronson Steiner at SummerSlam. Plus, the Intercontinental Championship match has now been made official for the biggest party of the summer. Jay White, the champion, defends against the former World Heavyweight Champion LA Knight, and then another grudge match. 2 former tag team partners, former World Champions, turned bitter rivals, going at it face-to-face, one-on-one at SummerSlam, as the phenomenal AJ Styles battles Finn Balor. Before the main event, we get a follow-up segment of last week. Dio and Manny are back in the hospital where Saray is, and they open the door and Saray, she's awake, she's being her normal self. And then Manny goes, "Hey, girl, how you holding up?" And she's like, "Okay, I think. Head hurt." Manny goes, "Headache. That must be a sign." Dio goes, "I mean, maybe, yeah, we don't know how she's doing it." So Saray's like, "Doing what?" And he goes, "Oh, nothing, just me and Dio have been talking about you, saying we don't know how you're recovering so well from a near-fatal incident." She goes, "I'm bored, I want to go." And then Manny goes, "You can't, okay? They'll shout at us if we let you go. Plus, you've already been out. But, and more importantly, we definitely can't let you out of here." And so he goes, "Why not?" And Manny goes, "Dio, do you mind getting getting her some water. You know, she could use some water, and so could I, quite frankly, right now. And then Dio leaves. And then Manny locks the door as Dio leaves, and he sort of sits down in a chair next to Saray's bed. She goes, "Why can't we leave?" And he goes, "Do you know what's happening to you?" And she goes, I'm hurt. Head hurts." And he goes, "No, you're becoming a monster." And she sort of looks at him confused and goes, "Don't be silly. This isn't anime. This is real life." Man, he goes, No, it is real life. You see, you know Wendy Chu?" She goes, "Sleepy girl." Man, he goes, Yeah. She's not really all there. And you and her are sort of, it's like she's infecting your brain, and I don't know. It's all weird. And so he goes, "Sounds like you need sleep." Manny goes, "Maybe I do, yeah." She goes, and then Manny gets up to go leave, and so he's like, "Hey, Manny, thank you for looking after me." Manny sort of like smiles. He goes, "It's no problem." And he leaves the room, and then Dio's out there with like 5 bottles of water, and he goes, "Is that enough?" And Manny goes, "On second thought, we probably should leave." And Dio's like, "But I just paid like $5 for all this water. Who's gonna drink it?" 91 rated main event. Dirty Dom does the carrying here. Because Path of the Dragon, of course, have got to get back in the zone right now. And, yeah. It's Tozawa and Humberto back together. As much as I would like to sort of give Christian and Dominic the fucky win, I can't, justify it. It's one of the greatest tag teams of this generation against 2 people teaming for the first time. So, yeah. Tozawa does pin Christian with a diving senton in 16:46. 80 for Tozawa, 81 for Humberto, 91 for Dominic, and a 71 for Christian. After the match, Christian and Dominic, they look to get the jump on Path of the Dragon when Dijak storms out from the back. He appears, and Christian and Dominic immediately leg it through the crowd. Like, I imagine the scene is like his feet hits, like he stood on the stage, like slowly walking his way down to the ring, with his little bat on, ready to beat some ass. But before he can even get down to ringside, Christian and Dominic have legged it through the arena and they're gone. They're out of the picture. So he sort of still just like stood on the ramp. He turns around, he goes to leave again after he's scared off Christian and Dominic. When the Prime Goons, Jeff Jarrett, Cameron Grimes, and Carlito jump Path of the Dragon from behind, they free on 2 attack him. That's when Dijak does turn around. The warrior of justice that he is sees some injustice in that ring. And he helps Path of the Dragon clear off the attack from Grimes, Carlito, and Jeff Jarrett. And then, yeah, Path of the Dragon and Dijak stand tall to end the show. 91 rated show, closing with a 65 rated angle, so it's pretty fine. And yeah, well, what matters more is what you thought of the show. Do let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you on the other side now for some more Heat action. Heat kicks off with Kiana James in her office, of course, with Sasha Banks. And Sasha goes, "Hey, I'm sure you've heard the bullcat that's running around here. Where's Tatum Paxley? Okay, she's got my championship, and I want it back." Kiana goes, "Sasha, relax. Like, I get it. You're the rightful Liberty champion. You beat her for the championship. So, I've had a word with Triple H, and Triple H sort of said that he doesn't think that there is a Liberty champion right now. Because, we have vacated the belt and none of these other defenses have been sanctioned. So, his big idea was that at SummerSlam, we'll have a triple threat match for the Liberty Championship. 1 participant from Raw, 1 participant from ECW, and 1 participant from SmackDown, with the winner being declared the official Liberty Champion. And Sasha's like, "Okay, and?" And she goes, "Well, Sasha, as the interim stand-in general manager of the women's division here in WWE, I have authority over who gets in that match, and I have to say that the obvious choice for ECW is you, my CEO." So she goes, "Great, so I've got to beat a woman from Raw and a woman from SmackDown's ass. So I'm assuming that's Tatum from Raw." And Kiana goes, "Well, maybe. That's if she can make it past Indy Hartwell tonight. If Indy can take her out, she won't be able to make it to SummerSlam." Sasha goes, "You're an evil genius. I love that for you." opening tag match because it's 71. Adriana Rizzo gets a 21, so that's actually a really good rating for that match. But yeah, Nightlight pick up a win over the D'Angelo family. Shantae pins Electra with a fisherman suplex. 69 for Shantae, 81 for Naomi, 60 for Electra, 21 for Adriana Rizzo. Yeah, you know, I think I'm getting Nightlight a couple more wins because it's mainly because I want to try and help get Willow over Shantae even. Yeah. So they get a win here tonight over the D'Angelo family girls. We then, after the ads come back, there's a Japanese local talent in the ring when out comes Chelsea Green. Chelsea goes, well, would you look who it is? It's somebody, but look, she's from Japan, right? Cheer! Okay, you love Japan, you know, you love all that bull crap that J-Flow and the rest of these people are selling you. But I'm about to really prove everybody right and blow everybody's minds when I tell you that things from Japan, they're crap. Okay? First I see this mediocre talent in the ring whose ass I'm about to beat. Second is that terrible music that J-Flow play every time they come out here. What a ruckus that is. It's no great Canadian music, okay? We're talking Shania Twain, people. And that godforsaken cartoons that all these grown men obsess over because they can't speak to real women and they don't shower in weeks. That's overrated. And last and certainly not least, you and the rest of those J-Flow girl wrestlers are overrated. Canadia's best export is here. Chelsea Green. Because I am that damn good. And then she then beats the Japanese girl with a Van Prettier in, I guess that's what she called it when she was called Laura Van Ness, in 4:43 over Hoshi Fujita. Yeah, she's just a NXT Japan girl. It's none of the actual... I've got like 800 Japanese women on the roster, but I didn't actually want to put a J-Flow girl in this spot yet, so yeah, we had to grab one from NXT Japan. 62 for Chelsea Green, 53 for Hoshi Fujita. We then get 72 is actually a lot better for this than I thought it would be. Tatum Paxley and Indy Hartwell. And yeah, Tatum does win. You know, she does get past Indy Hartwell. So Indy failed in her job to try and take Sasha out before Tatum out before SummerSlam. 67 for Tatum Paxley, 65 for Indy Hartwell. Yeah, not too shabby. Then our main event tonight gets an 82. Let's go. Liv Morgan and Alba Fire have an 82 rated match. And Liv does win in 14:56. Alba gets a 79, 72 for Liv Morgan. Alba Fire is currently in that position that was previously occupied by Ruby Riott and before then Candice LeRae, where they're like the ace of heat. And yeah, this is really good because she actually outperforms Liv here, which, I mean, no comment. But yeah, Liv Morgan does pick up the win because, you know, as much as I have to put my brain on and be like, yeah, you know, Liv, in this save, she's a nice little run member of my roster. She's doing pretty fun. And, you know, take personal biases about her position and presentation in real life and, you know, ignore them for the purpose of this save. But after the match, Alba Fire and Iona Webb jump Liv. Sonya Deville, you know, she's become friends with Liv in recent weeks. The two Jersey girls who are beefing with Sasha Banks and Indy Hartwell. And yeah, they come to the save, they fight off the witches and stand tall to win the show. Pretty fun episode of Heat, you know, we've got storylines brewing here. Most of it is like, I'm finding stuff for the women who don't really have obvious plans for SummerSlam. And obviously, other than the Liberty title stuff, but that is playing out on Heat mainly because it's cross-promotional. But yeah. Well, Matt, more is what you thought of the show. Do let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for ECW, where we'll get the follow-up to the big announcement from this week. There'll be a 7-on-7 tag team match for the future of ECW on the line. Heyman's got no guys announced. We know Russo's entire team. What'll be the fallout from that? We'll see you then.